It is natural for the mankind to always be after the development of new technologies and use it to evolve in the most diversified areas of knowledge and life. However, this is the first time that the talk about future technology surpassing our biologic limitations is getting relevant, and this is exactly what the transhumanism consists in: the use of science to transform human condition and take it to a never-seen level as a species. Imagine the way of how the correlation between man and machine can bring incredible benefits to society is exciting for anyone, but some deep questions and problems hover around this subject, raising doubt as for the reality of our future. Death, illness, pain, and other adversities imposed by nature has always defined the conception of existence that we have today. However, the transhumanism idea believes that the technological innovation is going to impulse evolution beyond those natural limits, besides increasing all kinds of abilities in order to make the human race more adaptable and resilient, able to be the architecture of its own change. With increased brain capacity, we could rise our cognition and our creativity to surprising standards. That would certainly be a true revolution in the way we learn, solve problems, and create new things. The modern medical advance added to the transhumanist science takes us closer to the achievement of a higher longevity, due to the increase of corporal resistance and immunity to the diseases that alarm us nowadays. We could reach an era where the additional years translate to quality of life. The transhumanism brings up the perspective to prolong the human journey and to create new incredible chapters with the unprecedented and most authentic form of continuous improvement of the species. However, there would be numerous problems with the combination of human and machine, starting with the differentiation of both. In a world where we will be so united with technology, able to improve the organism and overcome our biological limits, it would be impossible to know the point at which someone becomes something beyond human, making us wonder how many changes can be made until we lose our character. A prosthesis has the function of replacing a lost limb, but these alterations, if they replaced a certain percentage of the body already present, could turn someone into a machine. If we are just our consciousness and mind, this would be invalid, but if there is something beyond, like a soul, or we are simply the union of mind and body, determining this percentage would help us to distinguish humanity from post-humanity, even if this value may be incorrect. In fiction, the character Atom Smasher from Cyberpunk 2077 and Edge Runners can be mentioned, being made up 100% or very close to mechanical parts. Another point deals with the availability of these robotic enhancements. The benefits generated become losses for people without adequate financial conditions, who will be marginalized in this new society so linked to technology. There will be a huge gulf in physical and perhaps even intellectual capabilities between economically advantaged and disadvantaged individuals. With Neuralink's new chip, which promises to treat conditions such as blindness and paralysis, several people who would need it would end up without the product, which will certainly be very expensive and difficult to make available to everyone. The nature of the companies can also be questioned in relation to how they implement these innovations. Neuralink's own chip, which promises to be exclusively medical, will have uses in communication between people in the future, and will be able to save and reproduce memories, as the company's CEO, Elon Musk, says. There is a chance that this chip and those of other brands lead to addiction in pursuit of profit or specific interests, especially if there are applications, as already happens with cell phones, but in a more serious way, since we would be connected all the time. And last but not least, prejudices between humans and transhumans would be created. The most affected would be humans themselves, due to the discrepancies already mentioned, and those who have changed so much to the point of being considered as machines or robots by society, implementing a new type of eugenics, which would not be based on color or ethnicity, although these prejudices must still exist, but in the cybernetics that will compose each one of us. Therefore, a new social organization would be formed, in which the socially privileged would be the post-humans. What leads to this hunch are precisely the current pro-transhumanism discourses, which advocate overcoming the biological body and making it inferior, even if this is not yet a reality. While most people around the world believe that human immortality is still a century away or impossible to achieve without divine intervention, researchers in the fields of life extension and human enhancement know that we are only a few decades of this goal. Regardless of nationality, culture, heritage, or religion, it is urgent for any human being to ensure immortality, even if achieving this goal means fundamentally transforming the individual into something non-human. Says Zoltan Isfin, founder of the Transhumanist Party in the USA, in a 2016 interview. This statement illustrates that however distant such ideas may seem, science may be advancing faster than we realize, always aiming at improving the human condition, with metallic and related prostheses, often used today for facing physical handicaps, already resemble the concepts sought by transhumanists. Concepts that today are worked on and disseminated mainly by pop culture with great and famous sci-fi works, such as cyberpunk or futuristic universes that demonstrate a bit of the relationship between man and machine, even if in a very fanciful way, are already enough to create familiarity in the popular imagination. But it is not only in fiction that these ideas are becoming reality. Neuralink already has some authorizations to carry out studies, and has its exclusive focus on the medicinal area, so we hope to receive news about it in the near future. In addition, there are many other private initiatives that seek technologies for the elevation of the human condition. Because the subject is gaining more and more relevance, several associations have emerged discussing and defending such a philosophy. Among them, the Transhumanist Party of the USA stands out. Transhumanism walks a fine line between the utopia of the human condition and ethical, social, scientific, and individual implications. While the journey leads us to ponder evolution, it also calls us to face the essence that defines us. We see reflections of our own humanity and confront the mirror of who we want to be. The future that is approaching every second can be brilliant or disastrous. It's up to us to reach a state of balance between technological improvement and fundamental values, so that we can contemplate more chapters of true human evolution.